Hi, today we're gonna be looking in Hawaii again from the Big Island, and this time I went for a little drive on the slopes of Mauna Kea. I'm still hoping to see Kauai, Oahu in our quest to see what's beyond the curvature of our Earth, and we're gonna be looking at the county of Maui here once again, Molokai, Lanai, Kaulave, and the Big Maui. We're not going to be looking at from the Kohala Mountains this time, but I'm going to be driving up on the slopes of Mauna Kea on the Big Island. And I saw that the sky was so clear, looking at the islands, looking at Mauna Loa from our place. I decided to go up on Mauna Kea. Long drive over the saddle road, even when I wanted to go up to the summit, but the summit was blocked off at the bottom of that road by protesters, which I support truly. Don't quit supporting the blocking of the TMT construction. So I went out on that old saddle road part above the Waikiki Ranch, and the elevation was somewhere like 5,300 feet. It doesn't really matter so much because we're not making any math in this video. We can't really prove much of the curvature of our Earth. Can't prove much of the globe either in this video. But if you watch my other videos, you can see clearly that according to certain math that Google suggests us, that we don't live on a globe. And we can also see that there is curvature out there. And so we're not a globe, we're not in a curve. We have a curve, not flat. So we're going to be looking at Maui from there. And from the Kohala Mountains, we couldn't see Molokai so well, or the West Maui Mountains. But from the slope of Mauna Kea, from Mauna Kea here, we can see kind of the three ridges of Haleakala, West Maui Mountains, and the higher side of Molokai. Let's take a little closer look. Here's Lanai and Kaulave, and even Molokini. Lanai. Molokini here, I'm trying to see it in our video. I think I can kind of see it in one place, but it's not really an objective of our video. So this is the high part of Molokai, higher mountain range. This is 3,100 feet. Over 2,200 feet again. Where is the highest point? 2,300. So we got over 4,000 feet here. So that's kind of about the highest point. 42. And on the West Maui Mountains, what's the elevation? 42. The highest point, trying to grab the highest point. 48. Over 5,000. And here that low end of Molokai is over 1,300 feet. I have a couple of videos on that part of Molokai you guys should watch. I show the math, and we can see that part of the island from impressively far away. And it proves that we're not on the globe. And we can also see curvature, which proves that the Earth is not flat. So that's where I was on my journey, taking the video from up there. I was right above that ranch here. They had an event that day, some kind of a rodeo. They're right below me, like maybe 200-300 feet below me. This little area. Okay, But that was my longer video I took, which wasn't that good of an image, so I switched over to manual on my Nikon P900. Try to get a better job at showing you what's out there. So here in the foreground we have Kaolave. It's kind of long and low. Kaolave, I think the highest point is under 1,500 feet. There's Lanai right behind. Lanai is over 3,300 feet. And you can kind of see a bit of Lanai over the top of Kaolave. You can kind of see a little ridge popping up over. Or we could even suspect it to be Oahu if we wanted. It's kind of hard to tell. Still hoping to get a glimpse of Oahu and Kauai from the Big Island. It takes a really clear day. Hard to find a clear day. And to drive all the way to Mauna Kea from my place is a good hour drive. So by the time I get to the mountain after looking at the clear sky, clouds can come along and ruin my view. So you see the slopes here. You can kind of see part of Molokai. And the low end of Molokai is over here. You can kind of see the tip sticking out here over the slope of Lanai. See Molokai, it looks very dim, very faint, and you can see the higher slope over here of Molokai. Apologize if the level of the ocean is a bit down on one side. Maybe you could prop up your screen on one side to level that to your comfort of your eyes. And at the same time, I was trying to look for Molokini, a small little island in the middle of I could say the Maui County Islands, because the county of Maui includes Lanai, Kaolave, Molokini, and Molokai. You can kind of see something. Looking for Molokini, but can't put the finger on it. And I gotta apologize to show you such an image that it's kind of hard to stare at. It's not so clear. And I'm playing with my focus also. I switched to manual on that video, trying to get the most of. You see the slope of Molokai, and here is Makena on Maui. Makena has got two beaches, big beach, little beach. Big beach if you're gonna be wearing your clothes. Little beach if you want to take your clothes off. You're gonna have to climb over some rocks to get to Little Beach. So it's better to keep your clothes during that climb. Especially if somebody's climbing from underneath, following you from behind. So you can kind of see the slope of Haleakala, and right behind it is the slope of the West Maui Mountains and the slope of Molokai. You see Molokai, the low end, the northwestern end of Molokai. You can kind of look at Lanai behind Kaolave. What sticks out over there? It almost looks like there's a third ridge, doesn't it? It almost looks like there's a third ridge behind there. Could it be Oahu? Could it be Oahu? Oop. Dipping in the ocean. Oop. Adjusting the level. Thank you. So you might have to readjust your computer now that you propped it up on one side. Bring it back to level. So again, get Kaolave in the foreground and Lanai behind. In the hopes of seeing another island behind there. Kind of see a third ridge, don't we? Kind of. But I can't really use that as an evidence and try to convince the whole world that the world we live in is not what we were told. So I got other videos. Just to remind you, I got at least a dozen videos that prove that we have curvature on our Earth. That is not flat. But if you make the math, according to Google's math, what they tell us is the math to calculate the globe. You can see the low end of Molokai again. So if you use the math calculator or any way to calculate the curvature of our Earth, if anybody can come up with a good formula, explain that formula thoroughly, that is better than the one that's squaring the miles and multiplying that by 2/3 of a foot to see how many feet of elevation we shouldn't be seeing in distance, according to the miles we measured, that we squared. So, yes, if you do have a better formula, please let me know about it. I'm the curvature amateur. I'm not an expert. I certainly am not a scientist. I don't want to be considered a scientist. Please don't do that to me. I want to be called a researcher. If anything, you don't even have to call me anything. You can say this guy over there, Louis, calls himself the curvature amateur. Or whatchamacallem. Wait. They're looking for Molokini out there. Still looking. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to disappoint you, but we don't live on a globe. You should see what NASA does for work. If they do really work, getting paid over 60 millions a day, every day NASA gets, to tell you lies. There's McKenna in the foreground. But I'm not going to show you any proof of how NASA lies. There are plenty of videos out there already on YouTube. Thank you to the flat earthers. I really appreciate the contribution of the flat earthers into the world of research, because they've shown us real images of what's going on. They also show us plenty of reasons why NASA is lying. So I'm trying to adjust my focus here. My manual knob. Skip ahead a little bit. It's a little bit clearer. Now it's clear. That's the Kohala Mountain. Kauai High Harbor at the bottom. It almost almost looks like we could see Molokini here. Do we? Is that Molokini or it's not Molokini? Does it have to be Molokini? Well, that's about where it is. I got a couple of good videos on Molokini, plus a few more that I do mention Molokini in there. But you should check them out. You should see how low we have to be to see Molokini 50 miles away on my video eclipsing the island of Molokini. I think it's one of my favorite videos I've done so far. Highly recommend it. Sorry, I'm bouncing here. I wasn't jumping with joy because it's kind of hard to see what we're trying to look at. Standing next to a road, with the sun in our eyes, looking into the small hole of a camera, try to get a glimpse of what's out there, show you the truth. How can my camera lie? Well, I'm not a cinematographer. I don't have much skills with computers or editing stuff. But I have a whole lot of skills with my physical body. I can build and carve and climb and cut and do a whole lot of things that most people nowadays they need to hire somebody to do. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about what's out there. Why should we be staring at those images? Well, right now I'm not making any proof, but please watch my other videos to show you a few proof that we don't live on a globe, we're not spinning in the vacuum of space, and the world is not flat, because we'd be seeing a lot more if it was. We'd at least see, Kauai and Oahu easily from the Big Island if the world was flat. And I wouldn't see curvature like I've shown you in some of my videos if the world was flat. Curvature. That's the one thing that flat earthers say doesn't exist. See? Yet the West Maui Mountains, Haleakala in the foreground, and Molokai behind. But at the elevation I was up on Mauna Kea slopes, I cannot prove any of what I'm claiming here. I cannot prove that we are on a globe. And I cannot prove that the world is flat. Other than, if the world was flat, like I just said, we'd be seeing Oahu and Kauai a little bit more clearly. I don't think we'd be seeing all the way to Japan because the air is thick. The air is a filter, especially with moisture in there, but the clouds kills the view. So to get a good glimpse out there, it takes a clear day. It takes time, I have other things to do in my life than run around the island and take shots. I got 5 kids and get over 30 acres of land to take care of. But, I still want to show you things. I still want to participate in this world. To show you that we could be getting more if we really stuck to the truth. If everybody was real, if there was no lies out there, we'd be so much more evolved, wouldn't we be? Everybody would be speaking a bunch of languages. So nobody would bother with some French Canadian trying to speak English and sounding funny. No, everybody would be smart. Because when you know a bunch of languages, your brain expands. Enough said. Thank you for watching. Aloha nui. I just want to show you a little reminder of what I think that this world might be. Thank you to Orlando Ferguson, who back in the 1800s came up with this map here. Can we see that a little closer? So Orlando Ferguson here comes from South Dakota, who somehow, by reading the scriptures, okay, and probably knowing his geography pretty well, probably referring to other map like the Gleason map that shows as is the world if you're going to be traveling from one end to another, because Gleason was a Navy admiral and he had a bunch of little soldiers and sailors, taking some data around the world as they travel. Because back in the 1800s, everybody knows that the British conquered the whole world. They planted their flag all over the place. Somehow, that little island in Europe managed to conquer the whole world and just impose their rulership. Anyway, so yes, Mr. Orlando Ferguson here, he said that according to the scriptures here, if you want to read all these little writings here on your own, you can do that. You can download that map if you want. You can even purchase it. They sell it on that site here, Etsy. You can find that. You can buy it for cheap. Suit yourselves if you want it or not. But this one of these days, I'd like to buy. If I can put enough money aside, buy myself a wooden map. And Orlando Ferguson, he was smart enough to understand that if the Earth was spinning that fast, at 65,000 miles per hour, according to scientists, even back then in the 1800s, when was that? 1893. They figured out back then that the Earth was spinning that fast. You look at those people, how can they cling on to the world that's spinning that fast around the sun? And 1,042 miles per hour around the center of the Earth. Doesn't that make anybody dizzy? Or we got used to it already? We got the 4 angels at the corners of our Earth. That's all according to the scriptures. I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't have a Bible. A few times I tried to read the Bible, I fell asleep. But my ears are open. If you want to tell me Bible verses, I'm going to listen to you. I'm not going to shut my door on you. I'm going to listen to what you have to say and make my own replies out of my own thoughts. So, if the Earth was this shape, because we know it's not flat, and we know, according to certain math that Google gave us, that it's impossible to fit on a globe. Because their map is obviously not real. You can see much further than the calculated curvature. Even the flat earthers found that out. But I discovered, I can't say I discovered, because I'm sure it must have been observed before and suppressed, that there is curvature out there. It is further away than the calculated estimate according to Google and all the scientists that contribute to supplying data to Google. Because the map is far off of the mark if you would calculate what we see. And I have a good dozen videos to demonstrate that. So how would this world work? What do you think? So if we're not a spinning ball, and we're not flat. So if we were flat, you could rely on the water to keep its level. But would this thing work? How would this thing keep the water up in the slope without the water going shoop, flush all the way down, and leave only dirt at the top? Well, there's such a force out there called magnetism. Same kind of force that would keep these balls always at the same height over us, circling constantly, periodically. It's two balls. They might not be hanging on some kind of an arch like that. And this is supposed to be the North Star. And according to some math, the North Star is not that far up above the North Pole. But I'm not going to show you these maths. Not today. Thank you. Would this be possible? Can this be possible? And would there be a dome above us? Where would the dome start? Would it start right on the edge in Antarctica? Or would it be further out? Or would we be surrounded by other worlds? You know, like the old map. Let's check that out. World map. Found in Honolulu Gazette. It was 1907. Let's see. A hoax? Is it a hoax, mister? How can you tell? Yes, this guy tells us it's a hoax. So are we gonna listen to this guy's opinion? That's what the world map was. According to some Japanese monks, that was found 1,000 years before. Alright, so you could probably do your own research and find that out yourself. So this here in the middle is the world we know, the flat earth map. With the center is the North Pole. This is North America, South America, Africa, Asia, Australia. And there doesn't seem to be any Antarctica around here, no Antarctican ring, as we see on the Gleason map, or even the Urbano Monte map of 1587 shows Antarctica with creatures on there. It doesn't look like it's ice either. And if you count, I think there are 33 continents. That's what I learned somewhere before. Should I count them right now in front of you? No, anyway, it doesn't matter. 33, Freemasonic number. Could this be Admiral Byrd? Or, no, Admiral Byrd? Admiral Byrd. It's Admiral Byrd, who went to Antarctica in the 1950s. If you want to watch on YouTube, there are plenty of videos about that. He said that there's a huge continent below the middle of America. Where would the middle of America be? He said that he saw a huge continent down there that wasn't frozen and had a whole lot of good minerals there that are highly valued on the market. So is there any coincidence why the Treaty of Antarctica, the only treaty that ever been respected in the whole history of humanity, that they don't want anybody to go to Antarctica? All like 50 some countries around the world gathered and joined hands saying nobody else is going to go to Antarctica but us. Not everybody in the country, but just the elite of that country, the scientists and the politicians. Like, why did John Kerry go to Antarctica sometime around the election when Trump got elected? Why did the Pope go to Antarctica back in those days too? Something weird's going on there. Didn't the Nazi wind up in Antarctica when they fled Europe? Who knows? That's a bunch of conspiracy theories. Anyway, the Ferguson map, look it up. It's interesting. It's not flat, and it's not a globe. And, would it work? Could it work? Would that be possible? Would it be? Anyway, you decide in your own head what you want this world to be. You can tell everybody else what you think this world is. But it's not going to create the shape of the world that it really is, no matter what you say. Okay? The best way is to be observing it. To have very good visual references. And thank you to Hawaii. I wouldn't choose to live anywhere else in the world, even though I'm from a beautiful place in Quebec. Hawaii has got a whole world to offer me here. And a whole world that I don't need to be living either. So here in Hawaii, thank you very much, we can see curvature. And we can definitely see much further than if we were on a curving globe. But we do have curve. You see curve on this thing? Curve around, curve up, curve down, and even at the bottom. Is it concave down there? Is it concave in South America? Is it concave in Africa, South Africa? Is it concave in Madagascar? Is it concave, Mr. What's his name down there? In Phnom Penh. His name is... Sorry. Phuket's world. Phuket's world, he shows us a lot of flatness down there. It could be much more flat down there than it is up here. Understand? It looks like it could be flat down there, but could slope up this way and slope up this way. I don't know, never been there. I can't really tell by watching other videos from other people if it's real or not. If you watch my movies, can you tell if it's real or not? I make it as real as I can. I don't have the ability to fake what I'm showing. I'm sure if I work hard enough I could, but it's not my intention. I'm a truther, not a faker. I can only express truth. Otherwise I feel pain, I feel regret, remorse, I feel scruples if I try to tell lies. Please, do us all a favor, tell the truth. Thank you.